There he is.
Hello,
Hey, hey.
Jeremiah.
Hi.
Hi.
Jeremiah himself.
The man.
This is cool.
How's it going?
Great. This
You
is,
all hear me just fine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I cannot believe this.
Neither can I.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you were able to respond and do this with us.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
Yeah, hopefully we can do this more.
Sure.
Yeah. Originally, I wanted to talk to you about this weird glitch we found. That happens in Drawn to Life next chapter for the
Okay.
DS.
Yeah.
That in the spider form, if you stun an enemy, I think it was a firefly, and crawled on top of it, you can change back, if you're quick enough, you can change back to the human form, and the game glitches out and freezes. But we really haven't found anything with that.
I wasn't even aware of that.
Huh. Yeah.
That's news to me.
Yeah. We also found this weird thing that you can double jump off of a dog to skip a part of a easel area. So we just call it dog jump.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. That's my only one credit I have.
Hey, Donovan, I'm getting a bunch of echo from you.
Oh.
Jeremiah, I have a very important question. I think we were all answered.
Sure.
Where's the flower that saves the bear?
There is no flower. I'm sorry.
No!
Nice. Is the echo worse? I think it's just because I was in a corner of my room.
Possibly. I don't know. Sometimes
It's gone?
Thing. I'm still kind of hearing me through you.
Oh, probably because my volume's way up.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's better?
Yeah, I can't hear me. Cool.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's something that the fan server is gonna like to know, that there is no flower.
No. But Joe did say that I forget what his text line was, but it was basically something like don't believe him or something like that. So
Yeah, it says don't listen to Jeremiah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We've also cracked both
I
games.
remember
wide
what-
open and,
I got a question.
Sure.
So between when you were developing Drawn to Life and then Drawn to Life 2, the SpongeBob game came out. How did that start? How did you guys get that idea?
That's actually more THQ than us.
I figured.
So yeah, I think they had the license already. They had a multi-game license. So THQ did a bunch of Drawn to Life games, even prior to, or not Drawn to Life, sorry, SpongeBob's games prior to us. And they had Drawn to Life because they had the IP, and they just had SpongeBob. And then there was a Japanese developer called Ultron that they worked with, and they kind of picked it up. And I think Ultron did some porting for us. So yeah, it's basically they just took our engine and just kind of reskinned it and did their own version. So we had very little to do with that. We don't typically do licensed content, so that was mostly THQ.
And then with the Wii version of Drawn to Life Next Chapter, I believe on the wiki it says you're not credited with it.
No, we didn't touch that. I didn't do anything about that.
Do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, it's not canon.
Good. Oh, really?
Oh,
Good.
really?
Yeah, because if it was canon, what I would say is basically it's Mike never wakes up and he dies in the coma,
Oh.
which is pretty dark.
That is actually one question I wanted to ask.
That was a big question.
How long of a time gap is there between the first and second game?
Not that long. No, not that long. Days.
Well, I mean, it kind of depends on which ending. Did you get the patched or the original? Because in the original, Mike could have been in the hospital for a week, and then in the patched ending, he's just there for 2 seconds on the ground.
Yeah, the patched ending also isn't I had nothing to do with the patched ending. That was THQ as well, so we didn't do it. That was not canon.
Big company.
Not canon.
Was that at the ESRB?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first ending would be the canon ending.
Yeah. So what happened is so typically the way ESRB works and the way submission works is you go to the publisher, they look over the whole game, they play through the whole game, and the golden path, right? So the typical game. Don't have to worry about side quests and stuff like that unless you want to talk about, this side quest has a very specific thing that the ESRB should see. And so they play through Golden Path, they approve it, then they send videos to ESRB. The ESRB then watches the Golden Path, and then they have a document that goes through stuff. So both ESRB and THQ saw the ending, had no problem with it, so we shipped the game, and then I guess some parents complained they didn't like it, and so the SRB was like, okay, we should re-rate this game. And so basically THQ was like, well, we're just going to put this new ending in. And I was like, didn't you guys already approve this? I mean, everyone's seen this? And they said, yeah, but we want to change it. I was like, okay, well, good luck with that. So doesn't happen.
Another thing is, in kind of off the path of Drawn to Life with Scribblenauts. So, Super Scribblenauts is rated by the ESRB E10. Is that from its difficulty with the puzzle aspect, or is that because of some of the material in it?
No, it's always material. ESRB doesn't care about difficulty. They only care about content. So I'm sure Super Scribblenauts might have had something. There's I don't know. I don't remember what changed what, but there's different things, like if something has alcohol or references alcohol or blood or stuff like that, so or bodily fluids like vomit or something like that. So just stuff like that depends.
I believe your wife was a wordsmith on the Scribblenauts games.
Yep.
Speaking of, near the observatory in Drawn to Life 1, there is a patch of grass which reads out Miah heart Kaori.
Kaori, yeah. No, it's Japanese, yeah.
Yeah. How did that get put in there?
I was the one that built the village, so our tile editor.
Right.
So I just put it in there.
So yeah, also in the original Drawn to Life, there's the Developers Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever any thing that was going to be put into next chapter like that?
I think we just ran out of time. Next chapter was really ambitious, and we were also shipping Scribblenauts at the same time. So we had stuff that we wanted to do, but it was just, Drawn to Life next chapter on the DS is, I'm sure you guys all played. It's way bigger in scope. So yeah, we just ran out of time to do stuff like that. But we usually like to do stuff like that.
Speaking of content from TNC, the whole third page of Lavasteam was cut. Can you tell us anything about that?
Not off the top of my head. I don't remember what it was, but it's again probably levels. Usually just getting all the levels in and the story content. We just as when you design games and develop games, you kind of go out. You start with blue sky, and then you get tighter and tighter, and then as time goes on, you have to start cutting stuff, and so sometimes you have to cut content whole pages and stuff. So yeah, I don't know specifics of what was cut there.
All I know is there was some sort of giant color well. Oh, also there's a level select theme for Lavasteam in the game, but it's never used.
I see.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Huh.
Wait, so a lot of things get cut, right? I was actually wondering a long while back. I wanted to email BitCell just to see, what does it take to become a game dev? But then I learned at that time you guys had to lay off a lot of people because fighting words for Scribblenauts didn't work out too well. What happened there?
Yeah, WB. So WB's president at the time. He was let go, and some of their senior staff all left. So basically, they had a big regime change at kind of the executive level at Warner Brothers, and then new executives came in. The new executives were no longer interested in original IP. They wanted to focus on the IPs that they owned, which is like, Batman, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. And so they're like, hey, we don't want to do that kind of work anymore. That's our new direction, which is, that's what happens with the companies. And so that put us in a spot where we had to let people go.
And how's like Anchors in the Drift? How's that like tying in with like? Do you have any other bigger companies helping you out with that? Or?
Yeah, with Anchors in the Drift, I mean that's going to be our next big thing. I've been working on the lore and the back end of that, and we want to make that a much bigger kind of property than Drawn to Life or Scribblenauts was, in terms of we want to do more than just games. We want to be able to produce, whatever in that universe. So we've spent a lot of time just kind of working on that. And we have a mobile game that we've been working on, and then some other stuff with the property as well that we'll announce at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see some references in there.
Well, I mean, 505 Games has the IP now, so.
Yeah, 505 has the IP. Yeah, they bought. So when THQ died, they did a big lot sale with all their IPs, and 505 picked up Drawn to Life. But I don't know who picked up Lock's Quest. I forget. Was it 505 as well? Anyway, somebody else picked up Lock's Quest, and so both those games have been like ported and like to iPhone and stuff like that. So they have the IP and they'll do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, I think Drawn to Life got ported to mobile.
Yes,
but not Next Chapter.
Yeah,
not Next Chapter. No. Yeah.
I think there might have been
Yeah,
some thirds because the DTL one had a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So the development with Scribblenauts, Super Scribblenauts, and like the Drawn to Life games, those happened at like roughly the same time. Were there any plans of like referencing any of them in the other game? Because I think Lock's Quest references Drawn to Life
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's with the same publisher, so you can do that when the IP is owned by the same publisher, but when the IP is owned by different publishers, you can't necessarily do that.
Or you gotta be.
But were there any plans when like Scribblenauts and Super Scribblenauts were coming out that like you can like type in like Jowee and then create a character of him?
No, there wasn't really. Again, just because of the IP, they're two different. They're owned by two different publishers, so you'd have to actually get rights. Like when Lock's Quest was published by THQ, Drawn to Life was published by THQ. That works.
Yeah, the other day I was looking at the App Store. I was like, why is Warner Brothers, given credit for Scribblenauts and all that? I was like, I guess it's probably big companies trying to, get their name instead of, giving Fifth Bell the credit or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we still share, royalties and all that stuff, so it's all good.
So back when you guys were doing Lock's Quest, Scribblenauts, and Drawn to Life, how did you guys come up with the whole thing with it being on like the Nintendo DS and it worked perfectly, like the engines worked perfectly? Like how did you guys plan it to be like on Nintendo DS?
So actually, we were doing mobile games before that, like really small mobile games. And we were doing like on Nokia phones and stuff like that. And we wanted to actually do a PSP game. So we were working on a PSP game, and then PSP wasn't doing well. And so we kind of decided to switch over to Nintendo. And then so we applied for Nintendo developer status, and Nintendo totally ghosted us and they didn't respond to us. And then so we actually hacked a DS, like a DS and a ROM, and actually put a build of Drawn to Life that we built ourselves onto like one of those ROM carts or something that you can flash, and so you could actually play a demo on the DS, and we kind of showed it around, and Nintendo was like, "You guys are nuts! That you're this hardcore that you want to be on our platform. So okay, we'll approve you." And this is a long time ago. This is like well before indies was like a thing. And so yeah, basically our tenacity of hacking a hacking a DS and hacking the engine and stuff to make it work on the DS. Got us approval for to be official Nintendo developers, and we bought a dev kit and then made a demo and then pitched it around. And we had friends at THQ because they published some mobile stuff of ours. We did like a Full Spectrum Warrior mobile game, which was an IP that the THQ owned back in the day. It was like an Xbox, like third-person shooter game, and yeah, so we pitched it around, and THQ liked it. Some other companies liked it too, and we went with THQ, and rest is that. And I guess for like Lock's Quest, like we built the engine starting with Drawn to Life, and just kind of ported it over to the DS. Like we knew. The next game, like the way royalties work for developers is usually they give you the funds, and that's an advancement to make the game. So they give you a development fee, and they advance that to you. So you have to earn that back when the game goes on sale. And so after you earn that back, then you get a percentage royalty that's split between you and the publisher. But that takes time to come in. So if you don't have money to kind of bridge that gap, you're going to have to get another project to make sure that your employees are paid. So we pitched something like Scribblenauts to THQ, and they're like, I don't really understand this. And so then we pitched Lock's Quest, and Lock's Quest was originally much more like Minecraft. Well, before Minecraft came out, it was much more Lego based, and so you could actually drop kind of individual pieces. You could build like. We had this little simulator where you could build like pirate ships, and you could build like little cottages and stuff like that. And they're like, this is too nitty gritty, and it's more like a toy than a game. So we want a game. So then I repackaged it. And tower defense games were kind of popular, like in Flash at the time. So I was like, oh, well, what if we made this like you kind of play stuff together, and that works. And like, yeah, this is way better. And I was like, okay, like no Legos then. Like, yeah, Legos are dumb. That'll never fly in virtual. And I was like, okay, if you say so. And that's that. And then after that, we pitched Scribblenauts to a bunch of people. But at that point, like THQ was kind of dying as a publisher, so I wasn't really interested in working with them again. And so that's when we went to other publishers, and we just did like a really small, like had like 5 objects working, and we had like our original Scribblenauts level of the little star in the tree, and the star in the tree was just there, and I was like, okay, what would you write? And so people would come up with stuff, and like only like 5 objects worked at the time because it was like a prototype. But they kind of got it. And so we pitched it around a lot of people, but most publishers didn't believe we could pull it off. Most publishers were like, come back later. And so we actually finished about 80% of the game because no one believed that we could do it. So we finished about 80% of the game, came back to publishers, and Warner Brothers, again, the president at the time, Martin Chimbley, he really liked it. He's like, no, this is really cool and interesting. And so he's like, I want to sign this. And I'm like, wow, if the president of Warner Bros. Games is really excited about this, then that means they're going to try to push it and stuff like that. So that's why we went with it. So that's kind of the history of those 3 games.
You guys are like hardcore.
Yeah.
You don't get we don't get a DS, we'll hack into it. Oh, you guys don't want a game, we'll build basically all of it. You take it.
Yeah. No, I mean it's always been that's the problem with doing innovative stuff, is that like especially executives, they want things like they want what's called comps or comparables, and so they're like, all right, how is your game like Mario, or how is your game like, I don't know, Final Fantasy or whatever, like some RPG, like tell us other games that are similar, and they're like, there's nothing like this game, really. And so then they have difficulty understanding that, and they have difficulty being like, I don't know if you can do this, can you pull this off? So I mean, we pitched other stuff that never got announced and stuff, and it's always been an uphill battle, but we don't mind. If we want to make original stuff, like I've always been interested in just making unique stuff that no one else is making, so that people can kind of enjoy that experience and not be like, oh, this is the 700th military shooter. And there's nothing wrong with that either, right? I'm just saying that's what we want to make. We always want to make new stuff and unique stuff.
Yeah. And some of the stuff you guys created is like iconic childhood making stuff. Like there's nothing like Scribblenauts. There's nothing like Drawn to Life.
Yeah.
And that stuff was amazing.
Question.
Yeah, Drawn to Life was definitely unique in that way. It impacted a lot of lives.
Yes.
I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I have
Another question I had. All right. You can say yours.
Did you guys go into Drawn to Life 2 knowing it would be the final game?
No.
Did you decide on it?
So-
Because when you decide on the ending, surely by that point you knew that you couldn't continue on from then?
Oh no! In my head, it was like he could just go back to his dreams, at any time, right? Like he could just go to sleep and just be hanging out with them. That was always my.
That's what
version
I
of it.
thought. That's what I thought it'd be, were to make a third game.
Like,
Well
that's how
then,
you could build on, like, add more elements into the world where, like, Mike's life as he grows up, he learns new things and stuff, and that could, like, change how his dreams or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like people are always like, they're all dead, and I'm like, they're dreams, so they could come back anytime, really.
Hopefully we get a Drawn to Life 3, but I don't know how likely
any
it would
one of
be.
those fan projects that are underway right now.
I actually started. I started my career, quote unquote, doing I love Final Fantasy VI, the SNES one, so much that I made a Final Fantasy VI sequel, and it never came out. We didn't finish it, but it was a fan game for Final Fantasy VI. And then from that, I was like, I want to do my own stuff, so we started, this one.
There is actually, I think, a really a fan game for like a third in the series that's pretty well into development from what I've last heard by some dude named Sir Baki. He also like does a bunch of compositions and whatever, word for music, and like I don't know, he's putting a lot of work into this, and it's great. I mean, he doesn't update too much about it, but like listening to what he makes, like, there's a Wilfre remix, but this time you can hear like monitors beeping in the background as if Mike is back in a hospital or something. It's like it's a bit darker in that sense, but then again, what did Wilfre like represent? Some people want to say like the devil, and some people want to say the smoke. What would you say?
Oh no, he's Satan for sure.
Oh, so
Yeah,
he's
100%.
referencing Bible stuff.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Is the creator?
All my stuff does.
Is Mike a Christian and the creator is his subconscious representation of God?
No, so the creator is actually God. Mike is not a Christian necessarily, but yeah, the creator is God for sure. I mean, if you look at the story of Locke's quest, like the king is God and Lord Agony is Satan and stuff like that. So like, there's a lot of biblical references in our games. We even had it in Scribblenauts Unlimited as well, and our shooter hybrid. So we're always putting stuff like that.
Speaking of Scribblenauts, so the Scribblenauts engine and Super Scribblenauts engines, are those like very similar, or did you guys have to like redo them for the adjective mechanic?
No, just an iteration. Yeah, same engine.
How long did it actually take you to think of all like the word combinations for both games?
Well, I mean, that's like what my wife and stuff did, like Wordsmith. We literally just had people. We really had in the first one, like 5 people. That's all I did is comb Wikipedia, dictionaries, encyclopedias, like anything for words, and then had less people do that for the sequel. And then we used our engine to actually add properties to each word.
I want to see the Wikipedia page for the man bear pig. I want clarification on one thing though. You say the creator is God. Do you mean he's a representation of God, or he's literally the Christian God?
Well, literally the Christian God, yeah.
Alright.
Because it's like it's in Mike's subconscious in his dream. So there's kind of like this war going on, and it's represented through the Raposa and stuff like that. But it's supposed to be actually God.
And Wilfre is literally Satan.
And the player,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, and the player itself would be.
Oh no, you're God. I mean, the player, because you're God, and then the character, the hero, is Jesus.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
like Jesus is like supposed to be God become like down in flesh, and so
Yeah, like
That makes sense.
yeah.
an avatar of
What's funny
is
is
that
that I've read like the detailed wiki and stuff like that, and like most things people got, like they got that Jowee and Mari is Joseph and Mary, But one thing.
really?
But one thing that's funny that people didn't get is that the creation hall is supposed to be a manger. It's supposed to be like, Jesus is born in a manger because that's where the creation was born.
Huh.
Oh, okay. See, now I think he's going to get edited with that. I'm going to add that myself.
And then
Post-haste.
and Wilfre, I think DTL Wiki had this. That Wilfre is free will, like that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's nice.
Also nice to find out pronunciation.
Cool.
Yeah, so the whole religious aspect behind it, was that like defining in the original game, or was that mostly in just the next chapter?
Oh no, it's in both, absolutely.
When did
so with the first game, Mike doesn't really have that much of a role.
No.
Is that true?
Yes.
you didn't know about you didn't plan on the ending for the second game yet?
No, I mean you didn't even know if there was gonna be a second game. So yeah, it's like you just started out with whatever.
All right, that
I figured Mike was one of the other jokey characters, like the vampire, super high tech. Forgot her name. The high tech security lady.
Yeah.
Unagi, yeah, like those are sort of jokey joke characters, but then Mike turns out to be like,
No, absolutely. I mean, we had no idea. Like, Drawn to Life came after Locke's Quest. So there was no design for Drawn to Life 2. Sorry, Drawn to Life the next chapter came after Locke's Quest. There was no design for Drawn to Life the next chapter for like, I'm gonna say a year and a half, maybe 2 years after the first one. So I wrote the story kind of from the ground up.
So with a lot of the enemies and creatures from Drawn to Life, how did many of them come to be? Take, for example, the Raposa.
Yeah.
They have a very simple design, but they're also very unique in that regard, because I haven't really seen a lot of creatures quite like them, like other
I heard
media.
they used to be weird doggish people.
The
Yeah,
Dupers,
they were
something like that.
Droogles. Dog doodles.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, we basically I like anime and stuff, and like I grew up a lot on Japanese video games, so I wanted to do some kind of cute kind of race that represented these characters, and so we just did a lot of different design concepts. And so we had Droogles for a while, but I don't know, I was like, these just aren't cute, they're not cool, I don't like them. So then kind of went back to the drawing board with our lead artist, me and him, and kind of came up with Raposa. Raposa means fox in Portuguese. So they're like kind of these fox creatures.
Fox, cat, bunnies. Yeah.
Where did Banya come from?
I don't know. I don't know why we called it Banya. Yeah. Just a word. I don't know. We needed a crop that you had to draw. And we wanted something that was kind of unique to the thing. To the universe.
Guessing,
Alright, important question off of that then. What do you think the Banya would taste like?
No idea. Cornish, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's like
it's
corn
like
in
a
Banya fields. And the Wii game, when you're supposed to draw
meaty
Banya,
corn.
the template is corn.
Yeah, then what does Banya Crystals taste like?
Broken lungs?
Corny.
Kind of going back to the religious aspect. So we know that the creator's God, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, literally now.
Yeah.
What would the bosses be?
Again, I think like it was Wilfre. One. I mean, if you're talking about the second one, Wilfre's trying to stop the Mike from waking up. Like that's the goal, because he realizes that he's not real, and again, Satan wants to destroy everything that God makes. So the bosses were just like obstacles for the player to stop. They weren't like literal representations of anything.
I take it the second game took less influence from the Bible anyway.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I mean, at the high level, we already established everything that we wanted to establish in the first one. So the second was more about establishing, the big reveal of Mike being in a coma and stuff like that. And I purposely, a lot of fans, we would get a lot of emails where people were like, I don't care about Mike. Why did you make Mike in a coma? And I was like, that was on purpose because I wanted the players to feel. I wanted the players to feel like they had a lot of connection with the Raposa, and so, but the Raposa aren't real, so that there'd be a moral kind of implication of like, okay, these characters I love and care about, and there's this other guy that I don't love and care about. I don't know anything about him. I have no relationship with him, but he's real. And so, like, do I save my friends who necessarily aren't real, or do I save this guy that I don't know anything about? It's like, do I save this stranger? And so I wanted that on purpose. I didn't want to establish Mike as this main character that people cared about in the second one. I wanted him to be kind of like at the last second, and it's just like, because otherwise it's like the obvious choice is like, oh, of course we'll sacrifice. He's a really main character and everyone loves him and he's done a lot of stuff. It's like, no, like this guy's a real human, and these Raposa aren't real. So they should do the right thing, even though it hurts. So that was the impetus.
The gray area there is Heather, who's both real and a Raposa. How does that fit?
Yeah. No, she's just. I mean, people were like, how did Mike see her, her face and stuff like that? And I don't know. Maybe he like semi-conscious every once in a while or something. Saw the bandages. I don't know.
Okay, kind of a not serious question. Is it possible to beat the girl in hide and seek in Drawn to Live next chapter?
I don't think so. It's been a long time.
She's very good at hide and seek.
I mean,
Yeah.
even if you say no, she still beats you. It's weird.
If you say you don't want to play,
Cindy's overpowered.
Was there anything planned for the doubloons?
I don't remember. I would assume yes. I don't remember though, to be honest with you.
there is a reward, but
Just
it's just purchasing the the vocal themes and the.
Okay, yeah, that's right. No, I remember. I was the lead designer on the first one, and then another person, because I was focused on Scribblenauts, so I was the creative director of the next chapter. But all the day-to-day nitty-gritty stuff was we hired a lead designer for that.
Kind of question with Scribblenauts. Why does Maxwell? Why is his main thing that he's like always in like photographs with is a flying polka-dotted bathtub?
I don't know. I think it's just like shows that you can do adjectives and stuff. It's just weird. I don't know. Maxwell's kind of weird, man. I mean, look what he wears on his head.
Yeah, the rooster hat.
Hey, Ark.
Hey, Ark.
Hi, how's it going?
What? It kind of like a main theme that kind of just sticks between most of your games is like the player's main tool is their creativity.
Sure.
What kind of like got you into that? What games did you play that led to that?
Well, so Drawn to Life actually was inspired by ActRaiser on the SNES, and just creativity. I don't know. I like doing emergent content. I like user-generated content. I find that interesting. I remember when Minecraft was like super early beta, and I was like promoting Scribblenauts or whatever, and I would tell people like literally in interviews, like, you guys should check out Minecraft. I like just unique experiences in general. So I don't know. It's not necessarily supposed to be creative. It just kind of comes out that way, I guess. But I don't necessarily do it just to be creative. It just kind of happens,
Bless you.
Oh, another question. This is probably one you might not have an answer for this, but considering it's implied in the second game's ending that Mike's parents are both dead, what does that leave for Heather and Mike? to do.
See, are they though? Are they dead?
I mean, they're thrown from the crash, so.
Yeah, but Mike and
Wait, but
Heather
they
are
never-
okay.
But they're in the back. So,
Yeah,
Alright, I guess maybe they're not dead.
yeah. I don't know.
Wait, so that
we
means the
pur-
parents
we
aren't
purpose-
dead.
Well, we
I-
purposely left it ambiguous.
Alright.
Yeah, I would assume, but I mean, I guess they couldn't be.
As far as all you really get in terms of that is the image and the general
Yeah.
chat I just posted.
Oh
The
god.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was on purpose. I wanted on purpose to not show blood and to be like, I mean, they're obviously hurt, but so are the kids. So
Wait, but that means they would be in a coma, so that means
maybe
They might not be.
they might not be. we
Drawn
don't
to
know.
Life 3 confirmed?
I mean, maybe only the arms are left over of them. I'm just.
That's also. I
know
don't literally. I
myself.
don't know. Like we did. There's no plan either way for what it was. So they could be alive. They could be dead. I don't know.
It's just not
like the
confirmed
people go
either
into
way.
the Raposa go into their mind. It's like, what just happened?
Well, the Raposa. So the Raposa come from the fair, right? The kids won the Raposa dolls, and so Jowee kind of like that was like the last thing that he kind of remembered as a happy memory, and like that basically right before the crash. So that kind of like was just top of mind when it happened, and so then he created them basically.
Did you ever plan to like make Raposa dolls real merch, or do they already exist? Or
They do not, and no, we talked with THQ, but they just weren't interested in stuff like that. So yeah, we wanted to do stuff like that, but THQ just wasn't really interested. Whereas Warner Brothers was definitely interested with Scribblenauts, and they did.
Yeah, I guess did an art book.
Yeah, we did art book. We also did. There's a bunch of plushies for Scribblenauts. So
Yeah, THQ was bleeding money and uDraw tablets at that point, so.
yep. Those tablets came from Drawn to Life as well. Like those were early discussions of like, oh, Drawn to Life's doing this well-selling game. Maybe we can make this a bigger thing. And I was like, you probably shouldn't, but they didn't.
It's weird because they came out after Drawn to Life Week, so they never ended up getting a chance to use those there.
Nope.
That's interesting.
Did you guys ever plan any games out for the 3DS?
What do you mean specifically?
I don't believe there are any like Scribblenauts or Drawn to Life or Lock's Quest games on 3DS.
Scribblenauts Unlimited
sure.
was ported. Scribblenauts
Unlimited
Unlimited.
is.
Scribblenauts
Yeah,
Unlimited was
Unlimited.
ported?
Yes.
Yep.
Were there any original titles?
No,
Plan?
those are the original titles. No.
I think Unmasked was ported too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. I think you're right.
Did you
Unmasked was, yeah.
did you guys ever like play around with the 3D aspect, like seeing
No.
what a game would look like 3D?
No, Nintendo showed us really early the like all their platforms after like we started doing well with Scribblenauts Drawn to Life. They kind of let us know about stuff early on, and but I mean the 3D aspect, I thought it was kind of gimmicky. Like it's cool, but I don't know. It didn't seem like it was a big draw. So there wasn't really anything there that I thought was.
Yeah, not a lot of people use the 3D aspect, and plus, I mean,
kind of made
Scribblenauts is like on paper
It
and
hurts.
stuff.
Yeah. Do you believe that a 3D Drawn to Life or a 3D Scribblenauts game would have worked, or do you think it would have been too hard? Because like it seems to be that Scribblenauts and Drawn to Life work only on a 2D plane instead of a 3D plane.
Yeah, I mean, we worked on some prototype stuff for Scribblenauts, but the problem with Scribblenauts with 3D is the content, right? Is like making 3D content versus making 2D content is
It's very
exponentially
different.
yeah, just way more involved, to animate and make all the models and the meshes and the rigs and all the animations. It's a lot of work. So versus 2D, it's way easier. So yeah, it just didn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like, oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying for Drawn to Life, it's a non-starter because of the drawing mechanic.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I
drawing
guess you could
mechanic would
say
be like really hard.
the Wii version is 3D, but it's 2D. It's a 3D game, but 2D.
2.5, so like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were gonna try to do 3D creative stuff, that was kind of big taken over and controlled, or at least most of that idea was used by Little Big Planet, great games, similar vibe,
Yeah.
I guess, in some ways.
Quick question. Do you have a preference for the hero's name?
No, he was always just Hero.
Alright. Because a lot of people call him Drew.
I know, yeah, I know. Pretty witty.
Yeah, I think mine. I just drew Maxwell in.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to crossover really badly, but
There,
that didn't happen.
There is a hero creator in the later Scribblenauts games. Was that at all inspired? And an object editor. Was that all inspired by the Drawn to Life stuff?
No, not really. It just kind of made sense. People wanted to add. I mean, forever, right? Scribblenauts, the biggest failure, I guess, of Scribblenauts was that we can't do licensed content because everyone wants, I don't know, DC heroes and Marvel heroes and Star Wars and all that stuff. But obviously, we can't do that. So, allowing people to make whatever the heck they want, then fixes that. So that was really the impetus.
Getting Scribblenauts Unlimited onto like PC with Steam was probably the best fix, because there's a bunch of mods that let you do whatever now.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were there any features or major changes that you remember when making either the Drawn to Life copies or titles that were different from what we ended up with?
I'm gonna say no. I Drawn to Life the next chapter, like really we tried to push ourselves artistically, I thought I was really proud of Edison Jan's he did all the background art on the worlds and the different stages in the storybooks, and I thought it was really nice. Yeah, I thought he did a great job. And then we did that full motion kind of video intro where Heather wakes up. Stuff like that. So, and then the story is much bigger, and David Hellman, he was the artist on Braid. He's the one that did the ending art for Drawn to Life the Next Chapter, and that was on purpose. I was friends with him, and I wanted someone that had a completely different art style than Eddie to contrast between the real world and the Raposa world. But we kind of on purpose. I mean, everything that we wanted to do, really, we did in the second one. I mean, we threw a lot. I mean, there's a lot of content in that game, which is like the different hero characters and all the different platforms and the extra drawing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think that's great work.
I just have a question. With the Drawn to Life Next Chapter, when the whole thing is white, is that like what's that symbolic of?
The whole thing is white. You mean
the color getting drained?
Like there's no color, and you have to get the color drops to fill the world back in.
Oh yeah, well that's just Wilfre trying to keep Mike in the coma, right? And basically stop him from waking up. So that's basically like his life force, basically.
I always took it as like a subconscious fading, which fits in nicely with the first game too.
Yeah,
and then in the beginning and the very end of the game, the heroes are in the original village. Was that ever going to be a part of Next Chapter, or did that get cut?
What the original in the beginning or the very beginning of the game?
Yeah, the very beginning and the very end, they're in the original village. Not Turtle Rock.
No, there was nothing. No, there wasn't anything cut. No, that was just built the way it was supposed to be built. That was planned.
So really, the next chapter, it was pretty much as it was intended. Everything, for the most part, made it in. And
yeah, there was some other I think there was some there was some map stuff that we wanted to do where you could drive the Turtle Village around and stuff, and there could be some stuff like that. But that was about it.
That would make sense. Although, I do have a question. The map room theme is titled in the game's files as the Airship theme. Is there a story behind that?
No, I don't think so. So our musician David Franco, he's British, and so he was never on site. He would come visit the office, whatever 6 months or whatever. So it's very possible that someone just said something, he just named it that way and just sent over the file, and no one sent it over. No one changed it.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it was
Now-
Airship.
Do the Raposa in the games, like not Mari and Jowee, are they like the side ones? They usually have like one dialogue and you have to save them. Do they represent anything like people Mike has met in the real life?
No, not really. I mean, people say that talk like about like the Dr. Cure and Cricket, but those characters exist. Cricket the policeman, but those characters existed in the first one, and the story of the second one didn't exist until like a year and a half later. So, no, not on purpose, because the stories didn't exist together in tandem. Just a happy coincidence, I guess. Although Heather is actually a friend of mine, and that's why I put her name in the game. So that's why she's in that game, and she's also Heather in Mark's Quest. And she was in some old games as well.
Maybe all of us could be in one game.
We used to in Scribblenauts, we used to put fans. Sometimes they would request if we met them like at PAX or something, we put them in the game if we had time.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That is really cool.
Maybe
Yeah, I was
Drinkers and Drift.
earlier today. I was actually thinking, what a like remake of Scribblenauts and Super Scribblenauts would look like, and I like thought of a really cheesy but like cute name for it, Super Duper Scribblenauts. And you can
There
like
you go.
add Scribblenauts, Super Scribblenauts, those stuff together, like the classic level, like the classic mission-based one, and then add like the cut content from Fighting Words.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything more about Fighting Words? Because there's not too much info about it out there.
It was a free-to-play Scribblenauts title, and it was more story-based. And there's like a bunch of levels. It was different. It was a very different departure from the game and from the series in general. That's really all I could say, I guess.
Alright.
Hmm.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So
If I
kind of
can
going
remember
back to Drawn to
correctly,
Life. Oh, go ahead.
if I remember
Uh,
correctly, somebody here wanted to know if like Drawn to Life and Scribblenauts have like similar physics engines or something.
Yeah. Well, originally, yeah. I think we overhauled it for Unlimited. But Super Scribblenauts and Remix all have the same physics engine, more or less. Yeah.
So this is more of just a curiosity that I've had. Watersong, Lavasteam, Galactic Jungle, those three in particular, they're all pretty different in terms of the level design and their overall appearance. Was there any sort of inspiration for those worlds, or just something that came to you over time?
They're just there's a lot of difference. The Galactic world that was based off of Franz Kafka's The Castle. He was a novelist, and basically The Castle's a really cool story about basically this guy goes to this village and basically pretends like he's a bureaucracy and he represents bureaucracy, but actually he represents just himself. And so it's like he basically goes through all this red tape and stuff. And so not a lot of people picked up on that reference. And then Watersong, Joe, one of Joe's favorite movies, Joe Tringale, he was one of the founders of Facel and helped write the story. Little Mermaid is like his absolute favorite movie, especially Disney movies. So Watersong has a lot of, I don't know, Little Mermaid-esque kind of stories, feel to it. And yeah, that's about it. Like the jungle, yeah, I don't remember. There wasn't any specific thing, but we definitely wanted things to be different and unique per world and make them feel different. And
So out of those three, which is your favorite?
I mean, art-wise, I think Watersong's super pretty. I just like how it looks. Lavasteam's cool. Yeah, I don't know. They're all cool. I don't know. Hard to say.
On the topic of Watersong and a theme for the series in general, what made you guys want to use vocal themes repeatedly?
I mean, we just like it's just cool. You know, it's like David's a really talented musician, a really talented composer. You know, I think he does a lot of great songs, and I think songs with lyrics and voice, like it's just more impactful than your typical kind of, you know, DS style game music. That's, you know, much more, I wouldn't say 8-bit, right? But, you know, it's much more like that, right? Chiptune style or whatever.
I have a question. So in the Watersong theme, right before the boss of Watersong, there's somebody saying something in the song. I believe they're saying Wapo.
The Wapo.
Oh boy, it's the Rapo Song.
Yeah. Who actually did that?
Who does the voice of Wapo? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. For the Wapo song.
I don't know, actually. I don't remember who did that. I think probably David got one of his friends to do it.
Yeah, it sounded like a female who did it.
Oh, I actually do know. It was David's ex-girlfriend. Well, ex-girlfriend now, but girlfriend at the time.
Do you, before we move away from that part of Watersong and vocal themes, Light of My Life, some fans speculated this is supposed to symbolize Mike's mother at any point. Is that true?
No, not really. No.
There is a weird, like audio glitch I remember from listening to Real Life, and then if you open and close the GS quickly, it sounds very wavy, like very robotic-y and wavy for a bit.
I think that's just the
Were
DS.
you guys aware of that?
No, we weren't aware of that. No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I can expect, because the next chapter was huge compared to the first game, so a lot of glitches happen, like, oh, sometimes when you reset the game, your hero from the first time around might be in the village in the beginning sequence of the second time around. Lots of weird things can happen.
How buggy was the development?
I mean, typical. THQ is not a company that really cares about quality, right? So we were basically to ourselves to make sure we could make as best a game as possible in the time frame that we had.
I mean, it's pretty solid. We haven't found anything that's quote-unquote game-breaking yet.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
Were there any funny
was the
bugs
thing
that
we
you
talked
found?
about.
There was a really funny bug, yeah. There's a super funny bug that we used to make jokes about on the first one. So, in the first game, there's this old man, like just random Raposa. He was like a non-named Raposa, and he would stroke his chin as an idol. But it didn't look, because there's such a super deformed character, it didn't look like he was stroking his chin. And so we cut it. We're like, okay, we got to cut that idol. And he kept on, for some reason, getting recommitted. So every like month or so, we're making the game. I'm like, dude, that guy's still stroking his chin. It looks ridiculous. Can you please take it out? And they're like, yeah, I took it out. And like 4 times he got put in the game. And I think people, it wasn't on purpose. It's just, I don't know, he really wanted his idol, and he's just a pervy old man, I guess.
I know the old man does have a bug in his idle animation. When he's facing up, it doesn't finish.
Yeah, so we tweaked it. We had to tweak that bug. We had to tweak that. So that's a funny bug. That kept coming back for some weird reason.
Nice.
In Scribblenauts, on topic of bugs, there was a store cut from the game at one point that you can still not access, but you can trigger the game's attempt to load that data. Which
store in the first one?
Yeah, there's a part of the Aller store where you're supposed to be able to buy additional worlds, I think it was, but it was cut apparently. But part of the button's collision was still left active. Were you guys aware of that at any point?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Don't remember.
Okay, so I actually have one. This is mentioned on the wiki a few times and in some other locations. Apparently several files within the game, Drawn to Life 1 specifically, internally reference Mari as Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Was there ever a particular reason for that?
Well, that was her original name.
What?
It's just
Mayonnaise?
mayo?
Yeah. Mayonnaise was her original name.
That makes sense.
I'm glad it did not get kept.
See, I always thought it was
Jowee
like
Mayo.
related to one of her quotes
No.
in the first game talking to Isaac. No, that was just her
Oh,
original name.
important question. How old are Mari and Jowee?
They're like old teenagers. I mean, we didn't have a specific target, but they're definitely 19 or something, somewhere around there. Equivalent.
Yeah.
Joe, I think I believe at one point in the game, Joey complains about the sun. What does he say?
He suggests a reflector dish.
Yeah, giant reflector dish. How'd you guys come up with that?
Are you talking about because it was the second screen joke?
I believe so, yeah, when he talks about the giant reflector dish.
Yeah, and we also we like doing silly in jokes like that all the time. It's fun. Or like breaking the fourth wall. Like, doesn't Joey also talk about like he thinks that he's controlled by they're in a box and controlled by like with a stylus and all that stuff?
Right.
Yeah. So we always like in jokes like that. Yeah. So Isaac, why didn't you sell cookies? Any more mayonnaise jars? Yeah, exactly. So that's an in joke for us that like when we changed Mari's name from Mayonnaise to Mari.
Also, Isaac's original name was Wilhelm, apparently. Was that changed because of Wilfre?
I don't think so. I think Isaac was Isaac for a long time. So maybe are you saying his file name is Wilhelm?
Yeah, all of his file names are called Wilhelm.
It's like Wilfre was Wilfre really early on, and Isaac, the very first non-main Raposa, he was always Isaac. So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something I noticed like a month ago. I was playing the next chapter, and in Watersong 2, there's a gate next to the opera house or whatever that is. I think that's an opera house. It has a number 2 on it, and I was wondering if Watersong 2 was originally going to be the first area.
It's possible. I don't remember, to be honest. It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a question. The question I have is, why did Watersong start out with the surfboard level?
I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's just the way, like when you build levels, it's possible that sometimes when through playtesting, we think that this level would work better up front or plays better as an introductory level than other levels. So it just happens sometimes like that.
I mean, the introductory levels were really the 2 levels in Turtle Rock. But, yeah.
Yeah, don't know.
Why, like, one of the introductory levels like kind of changes at one point in the game? Is it like after you beat Wilfre or something?
Oh yeah, it does. The jumping enemies at the end.
Like I think they add like the what are those Baki called? Like the glamour ones. For some reason, the wiki
like the
has
dancer Bakis.
Yeah, the dancer Bakis. Like you can hop on them, they go emo, right? But then apparently the wiki has like a sprite of them changing from emo to happy, which
is not possible.
It just doesn't happen. I sat around one, let it just walk around sad and sighing for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I was like, can you change back, please?
Really? I
think we've all done that.
I remember
I actually have the
in-game
GIF right here.
after jumping on them. Weird.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else.
Of course, it's not actually the same or the reverse of this because it's a completely different
Yeah.
Hold on.
I do.
Yeah.
So the second one being what you see the most.
I know that a ton, and I mean a ton of audio was cut from the next chapter for tons of enemies, tons of events. Is there any was there deadline reasons?
Yeah, well,
behind that?
not deadline reasons, but cost. So Nintendo charges on cartridges. You basically have a maximum size for a cartridge, and so then you have to go up to the next size, and that costs more money. So you're basically eating into how much something, how much profit you're basically making. So I'll tell you something really crazy is THQ, because the cartridges, different size, memories or space on the cartridges, the very first Drawn to Life, they wanted like the cheapest amount of memory for the cartridge, and you wouldn't have been able to save your creations. Like you could have saved your hero, and that was it. And it was like literally like, and this is like what, a $30 game. It was like a 50-cent differential in price. Like it's 50 cents or 25 cents per cartridge that they would lose, and I think it was 50 cents. And some high-level executive, we fought for it. We're like, are you kidding me? Like, this game's called Drawn to Life. You have to save your drawings. Like, what's the second a player realizes that their drawings don't matter and they're not saved, like, they're gonna hate the game. And some THQ, because again, THQ, especially on handheld, they were doing a lot of licensed Nickelodeon stuff and stuff like that. So they didn't really understand what that meant. But one of the execs, I don't know which one, fought for us and actually got us to get a much bigger cartridge size. So
I'm glad you were able to fight for that and get that in place, because I actually did spend a lot of time on my drawings.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, that's the point. Especially in Drawn to Life next chapter, we specifically really wanted to make the best drawing tool we could.
Unless you're like Chaz, who just tries to beat the game with the least amount of drawings.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
unless you spend a long amount of time trying to skip drawings.
Yeah.
What is trying to do like spider skip?
Yeah. What is your opinion on speedrunning?
Like in general, in Drawn to Life, or in general?
In general, like in any games you created.
No, I think it's really cool. It's not something like I'm good at, but it's something I can appreciate for sure. It definitely takes a lot of skill and I think it's cool that people, like communities, get together and kind of share, glitches and find random glitches that like shave off time. Like it's always interesting.
Have you ever seen like a Drawn to Life speedrun? Or?
No, I mean I've seen stuff like a bit like a Scribblenauts. I didn't know it was like a thing, but I've seen like a couple, but nothing serious.
Yeah, Big Crunch Bar holds the current world record, I believe.
Oh, cool.
What's the time on it? Didn't we get sub 130, guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let me check.
We found a glitch recently that can give infinite height, but like will kill your R button.
Yeah, it's very not good for your hands either.
DSR buttons are known for breaking anyway, so.
Oh yeah, L and R buttons on the yeah.
Speaking of the L button, what's the story behind the cheat codes in the first game?
That was one of our programmers. He loves that stuff, so he just kind of put them in on the side. I think I could be wrong. I should ask him. But he put in stuff like nobody found like that, and I told him like, dude, nobody's gonna do like a massive random, brute force button combination to figure stuff out. And typically you have to actually, developers have to leak the cheat codes because people just don't find them. So that's the thing. But I know he's put in some stuff, and I think he leaked it years later or something like that. There might be still codes that don't exist, that nobody's found. I'd have to ask him.
Wow, you should. That would actually be very interesting.
I mean,
I don't know.
still
I'm speculating.
I mean, no
It's like if
offense,
she
but
cuts and Drawn to Life next chapter. Wait a minute.
I mean, no offense, but trying to look through the next chapter's files is nigh impossible because they're not labeled whatsoever. They're just A, B, C, D throughout the entire run.
Well, yeah, and that's because they're obfuscated. It's again, it saves memory, it saves everything, because if it's all bytes, right? So the longer something is, that when it gets compiled, it does that to just save on memory.
It's like that's the real reason why you changed Mayonnaise's name to Mary.
Yeah, save a couple bytes.
Were you guys able to like use a like a debug menu when testing things out? I hear somebody here also wanted to be able to like use a debug menu.
Probably, yeah. I mean, we definitely did, especially Scribblenauts automated spawning tool. I remember that that we used to test and verify that things would spawn and do the thing. But I don't know if we remove them. Like, typically debug tools are removed, for launch.
Mm-hmm.
Unless your name is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think that the Drawn to Life or Scribblenauts games are ever going to get a remake, or even Lux Quest?
Well, Lux Quest got ported just recently by another studio. It got ported to Xbox, PS4, Switch, I believe, and PC, and then also just recently to iOS. But we had nothing to do with that. And then again, Drawn to Life got ported to iOS a few years ago. We had nothing to do with that. And typically, like, I don't want to, just because like there's a lot. Like, if I'm going to do something, like I'd rather put a lot of time and love and effort into it. And typically, when doing remakes and stuff, most companies are just looking to make a quick buck. So
Yeah.
they're not interested in making high quality. So yeah.
So, what was your opinion when they did the combination that they put Drawn to Life and Drawn to Life Next Chapter onto one cart?
They put. Oh, you mean? Hold on a second. You mean the collection that happened?
Yeah, the collection.
No, yeah, that was that's just something that companies do. That's what THQ did, where they'll resell, because the games themselves are, whatever, $25 or $30 a piece, even, and then discounted or whatever and put them together. Then that'll entice people to buy stuff, to rebuy, or to buy it when they went to buy it before. But I don't have a problem with that, because it's just the game with like a wrapper that boots you the version. So I don't have a problem with that.
Also, with those, since that edition and newer editions of Next Chapter had the alternate ending, is there a way that you could, like, I heard there was like a theory that if you put in a certain, like, when the creator is asking you questions, if you put in certain answers, you will get the original ending?
That's supposed to be the police officer, isn't it? Like the police officer asking Heather questions?
Yeah, it is a police officer asking Heather questions, yes. Mike hears her. That's exactly what that is.
But no matter what you put in, you'll always get the same ending.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ESRB, like, required us to change the ending. It was required that there was... Had to happen. I disagree with it, but that's what happened.
Even then, like, parents aren't really dead, according to you. It's up to the person who plays it.
Yeah, well, we heard people would say, like, the parents died or something, and that's bad, but, like, I think kids who played it were more like the Raposa are dead. I don't think the kids care about the parents necessarily, because they're like, what is even going on here? Like, I guess it's dark, but I think what made people sad was Raposa, no longer existing, potentially.
The whole dream thing you said.
Yeah, but that was on purpose, right? Yeah, and I think this, if we were ever to do Drawn to Life 3, we talked about it as a studio like way back in the day. Like I was like, no, yeah, of course, why can't it? Why can't he just go back to sleep and hang out with his Raposa buddies? I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean,
But you're thinking a Drawn to Life 3 like game would be like kind of unlikely now because of licensing.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Again, like we don't typically design, so I don't have any ideas of what I wanted to do for the third one because like until we were ready to do it, like we don't even focus on it. But there was this old Canadian TV show called The Odyssey, and it was like this adventure fantasy TV series, and so it had the same premise. I was really impacted when I watched it as a kid, and it was basically this kid is in a coma, and he's living this dream world, but he knows he's in the dream world, and like some bully that was like in the real world, and like his friend were in the dream world, and they're doing this adventure. I thought that was really cool. So that's kind of inspiration for where the next chapter came from, the story.
if a third game was to happen, it would still be. Would it be you going to 505 Games and pitching the idea?
Technically, yeah. Yeah. They own the IP, so I'd have to talk to them and be like, "Do you want to do it?" and stuff. And I think the bigger problem now is because it's a kids game. Is the question is what platform would it be best on? And it's just like if like kids are mostly playing iPad and iPhone. You could say Switch. Switch is pretty good.
Yeah, but you couldn't really.
You couldn't. There's something about the DS and the 3DS with just the touchscreen made like Drawn to Life and Scribblenauts perfect for that platform.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, like iPhone and iPad could work, but again, what makes sense there is free to play, and Drawn to Life's not a free to play game, so.
Yeah.
Maybe if like Nintendo or some other developer designed something similar to the DS or the 3DS, it would work.
It's possible, yeah.
Is the Switch actually touchscreen?
Yes.
It is,
Yes.
but not in TV.
But yeah.
There are
No,
styles
then
to
you can have
Switch.
some sort of like idea that like they take it out of the TV mode and you can like draw on it.
Yeah, you'd have to like pull it back and forth, so it'd be kind of weird. I guess with the Switch Lite, which is not TV mode.
Yeah, and even then, there was the Wii game, which has motion controls for drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing is, I think there are Switch styluses coming out, and along with that, if you wanted to be able to draw on like TV mode, I remember playing World of Goo for the Switch. Their ports added in like, you can use the remotes as like, sort of like Wiimotes. You just point at the screen and bam, you have your cursor there. So I haven't actually played or watched the Wii version. I hear it's a bit iffy in the fan base, but
yeah,
I mean, the draw aspect would definitely be possible on a Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, just for us, like I'm pretty happy with like the stories we told with Drawn to Life, and actually with both games, Scribblenauts as well. So like I'm really focused on building Anchors in the Drift as a big kind of universe and IP that's multi game and kind of transmedia and stuff. So that's my big focus.
What is some of the ideas behind Anchors of the Drift?
So Anchors of the Drift, it's more of a universe that I wanted to do. So to your guys' point, actually, you're talking about how it's hard to make Drawn to Life. It worked perfectly for the DS, but doesn't necessarily work on other platforms. Is I wanted to make an IP that could be on any platform and could be any genre. And that's kind of what Anchors in the Drift is aiming to be. It's this big kind of expansive universe that we can have different characters and different stories and different game types. All makes sense with the IP at a really high level.
Yeah, I've been. I hope that goes well. I've been like watching the website, like last year near the beginning, the like licensing or whatever for the website kind of like ended in 2019. I was like, oh dang, and then it got refreshed or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh hype, here we go. I can subscribe to the letter, be ready for when the app comes out.
Yeah, we've been working on the mobile version, but we've also been working on some other stuff that I can't talk about, but that is not the mobile version. So we're just been, when we're ready to announce, talk about it, we will be able to. So
I guess
just a little bit early.
That this is like a universe. That's probably more than what most people know about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That sounds a lot cooler than just a mobile game.
Yeah, the mobile game is just one of the entry points into the universe. I mean, I don't want to the goal. I would love for it to be is like when people talk about anchors in the drift in the universe, in the same breath as like much other bigger IPs like the Marvel universe or Star Wars universe or Lord of the Rings universe or Harry Potter, stuff like that. Like I wanted to create like a very large universe, and so I spent a lot of time just kind of preparing the lore and preparing different game types and stuff. And so the mobile one was just like, hey, let's get this out. This is an easy, much smaller game to get out. But there's other stuff that's in the works that we just kind of in the background right now that we just can't talk about publicly.
Do you think with Anchors of the Drift that you will like plan anything that you like are known to do in like the previous games you guys worked on, like add fans into it or stuff like that?
Yeah, down the line for
Easter
sure.
eggs.
Yeah, for sure, down the line, absolutely.
Because I will totally spend hours looking at Anchors of the Drift if anything happens.
For sure.
Do you because
Wink, wink, nudge.
Anchors in the Drift was not kickstarted on the normal crowdfunding website. It was kickstarted on Fig.
Fig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Can you tell me why that was? Tell us why that was.
So Kickstarter in general was most successful for people making games like that were popular in the 80s and even 90s, and so people who like Wing Commander, stuff like that, like Wing Commander Star Citizen is a perfect example, or Tim Schafer's he kickstarted like Psychonauts and stuff like which he big, but so doing new IP on Kickstarter and even just in crowdfunding in general is really, really difficult. And so that's kind of why we didn't want to go with Kickstarter. And Fig was an investor-based platform, so it wasn't just like fans give money and then get a product. Like it was supposed to be. Fig was supposed to be like investors give money and then they get a small percentage back depending on how much money they put in, basically. But it didn't work out for us. But that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure entirely if you can say anything about this yet, but is Anchors in the Drift supposed to go beyond just the mobile game?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Like when we were working on Scribblenauts, we one of the reasons why we chose WB is because obviously they have ties to TV and movies and stuff like that, and that was something that I'm still very interested in, But the IP itself, Scribblenauts, didn't really lend itself well to things beyond what Scribblenauts is. Like Scribblenauts is about spawning objects and just coming to life and you messing around. But like putting that in different genres or putting that in different mediums doesn't really work. It's more of it's a gimmick, right? I mean, like it's a good gimmick and it's fun and it's unique, but it's not something that you can expand upon, and so I kind of took that lesson from Gone to Life and Black's Quest and other games that I want to make something that we can expand upon, and the hope for me is like that Anchors in the Drift is kind of the last IP I work on in terms of like my career, and I just am able to work on that for the next 20, 30 years or whatever, until I retire. So I just keep on making different products and IP and different games and stuff within the Anchors IP. That's the hope.
Wait for One Punch Man Season 3, whenever that is.
And that too.
So
cool. Oh, do you have a question?
Whenever, it's not a huge question. I was just wondering. So, whenever you were making the games, whenever they were in development, would you have ever imagined so many years later having a conversation like this, that there's still a pretty decent following for Jump Fight, Scribblenauts, and those games?
No, it's great. Scribblenauts, Scribblenauts is still like pretty successful. Like it's like on mobile and even Steam. Like these kids playing it all the time. Actually on iOS, it's like both remix and Unlimited are like a top 50 grossing for paid. Like it's consistently there. But Drawn to Life, no, I really like all the fan stuff with Drawn to Life. I like reading the wikis and seeing the YouTube videos and talking about it. That's awesome. And no, I never would imagine. But it's really cool. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, I find that really cool that you actually look at the wiki.
Yeah,
And all of that info.
yeah.
I like that people get stuff and they write things and they're like, hey, I think this is about, I don't know, it's just like it's about like God and Jesus and just random stuff like that. I'm like, hey, you guys figured it out. That's cool.
There's definitely been a lot of work with the wiki specifically. A lot of different people working together on it. I started editing it back in 2015, and I've accumulated like 17,000 edits.
I've like more than tripled the glitches category in there.
Yeah, I remember you adding to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
No,
like,
that's
really
awesome.
interesting.
Yeah, I
Every
feel like
time
we're
I-
like great fans.
Yeah, there's like crate slip, flying.
Yeah.
at
Well, no,
spider.
the part of the reason I ask is because I run the Drawn to Life for All Discord, which is, there it is right there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Oh, it's yours. Oh,
there's
okay, cool.
200 members in there, and every time someone joins,
You'll be the 200th member.
No, not.
He will be the 200th member.
like, wow, I can't believe there's still a community for this game. There's still
Yeah.
fans. I thought no one would remember it, but like, no, there's still quite some interest in it.
No,
People
I
on the wiki
totally.
get on the Discord. It's really interesting.
It's interesting because I mentioned making those Doom mods earlier, but specifically SRB2. But as I posted in the SRB2 community about the mod, not even mentioning that it's from Drawn to Life, people have picked up on it and recognized it, and I've heard people from across the internet reference Drawn to Life and Scribblenauts, of course. So even though
Oh, yeah.
the dedicated fan base for these games may not be massive, there's a lot of people who remember these games.
Yeah, no, that's super awesome. It's super cool to see that, like, people remember stuff and that it impacted them when they played it as a kid and stuff. It's awesome. It's what you can hope for as someone that's creating stuff. There's no higher kind of praise than that. Than people care about what you've done.
Maxwell.
Well, I mean, I
for
said it at the
Smash.
start of the interview, but it's seriously, Drawn to Life for me at least has always been a pretty impactful game. I know it was like that for a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm
Yeah.
thoroughly happy that you guys dig it and that and you like it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hope we are some of like the greatest fans. Yeah. This is great that you were able to take time out of your day and just sit down and talk with us for like a game. It's basically 10 years old.
Yeah.
10 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's been.
Definitely
Can't
appreciate
believe
you
it's been
answered
that
a lot of
long.
questions I was wondering. I'm gonna have a lot to add to the wiki later.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm happy to answer those questions.
Yeah.
Quick, insurance rather. Chaz and I have been recording for the entirety of this interview. Is it okay if we make these recordings public for documentation purposes?
Sure.
And that question makes sense
Thank
to anyone
you.
here.
I'm cool with it.
I'm cool
Yeah.
with it. I gotta get on the internet someday.
Yeah.
I've been planning. to do stuff,
Also
but-
another question is, would you like to join the fan server?
The Drawn to Life for All one, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I don't go on Discord too much, like just so I wouldn't be around that much, but sure I can do.
Yeah, just we hope that like 200 of us don't like ping.
You might want to mute the server.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't even I don't hop on, so
Mhm.
I might give you, well, this is up to you. I might give you a role that, says you were a part of Fifth Cell. That way it's easily recognizable.
I could
If
go
you
ahead.
don't want that, I won't do it, but
Cool, cool.
Go ahead and make it not pingable though.
Yeah, you will be pinged.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is kind of why I kind of planned it to be in the speedrun server, so it's like, how many people? Like, how many are in here right now?
About
Like
20.
10 or
8 right now.
20.
8, yeah, compared to like, how many people are online right now? 83?
Ooh.
Yeah, that would probably have, Discord probably would have not liked that in the channel.
It would have gotten loud.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of wins drawn to Life 3.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe
We'll
someday.
probably get some of that later.
Says the 8-ball. I mean the maybe Sunday part.
Yeah. I would say that at some point, like, if buying back the IP made sense financially for us and everything, and then making a game that I could control, right, where I don't have to worry about 505 saying you have to do this or that. I just wanted to make the story that I wanted to make. I would love to do that, but that's all. It's all about the financials of stuff, obviously. So.
Hey, we'll buy it for you.
For sure.
Everybody, we're gonna start a GoFundMe.
Gonna start pitching in. I got, like,
Oh,
I'll
no.
give, like, $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Arik, you were talking about Webmon 2, and you guys talking about bugs. I'll share this one other bug that was super funny. So, we're doing playtests, like user testing, to the whole playthrough of the game of Locke's Quest, and spoilers if you haven't played it, like the Locke's like Tobias, right, is Lord Agony. Like, he took over the mantle of Lord Agony, and there's a thing where his chatbox art has the mask over it, and then there's a mask reveal at the end of the game. But what I didn't realize was in that build we had all these people playing. I asked them, like, what do you think of the story? And what I found out was that build had the guy's face revealed the entire time, even from the very beginning. So they're like, yeah, I knew it was his grandpa immediately because I saw his face. And I was like, oh, that ruined the entire playtest. So I had them play for hours and hours, but they're like, yeah, that was a really dumb reveal because I see his face. So anyway, dumb bug. But
That basically be the equivalent of Wilfre being revealed as Sock immediately.
yeah, or like Mike, like there's some reveal that like it's a dream in like the first minute or something.
Well, I mean, one of Mike's immediate lines is, "I must be dreaming."
Yeah.
Mike's a weird character, but it works.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
for
Yeah, he's got some funny, weird ears.
Oh, there is another character. Crazy Bark. How was that character created?
I don't know. I just liked him. Like I just liked that idea of just some kooky, crazy dude that's like
He's holding Sock's hat backwards, and they somehow managed to find.
Yeah. No, I just like Crazy Barks. He's one of my
Has
favorite
plot
characters.
relevance, which is amazing.
For sure. Well, cool guys. Thanks for inviting me and having me on here. And, it was fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for
anytime.
being
Awesome.
Yeah, hopefully we
Appreciate
can.
it. Thank
Hopefully
you
you
for
can
answering
come back and tell us more about Inkers in the Drift.
Yeah, that'll be a thing one day for sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Yeah,
Have a
see
good
ya.
one.
See ya.
Alright.
That was amazing.
It was really
Wow.
nice. I'm gonna get to uploading this
Oh my
right away.
god.
Yeah, holy crud, I can't believe I just said this.
I cannot allow. Oh.
Kane,
We love you, Maya.
Yeah.
did you make the 5th cell roll display separately? Because that might be a bad idea.
I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, because if
That
people
was
see that
amazing.
if people see that there's a developer in the server, they might immediately try to get
Ping him.
contact them, DM them, do all those sorts of things.
Well,
Oh god.
he probably has his DMs closed, right?
Do we want to take that risk?
True. I did warn him. I did say that I would give him the role.
I know, but you don't.
Yeah,
have to,
I don't know if we want to
to
mess with
display it
that.
separately.
Let's see.
And when I mean separately, I mean like on the sidebar on the right. There's an option where you can have it
Alright.
displayed along with the other online users.
Hey, can I add
Oh, I know.
everyone in general right now? Hold on. Chaz, can I get your guys' recordings and then can I just ping general right now?
I'm gonna start.
Wait, for what?
To my account and then. Unless you want to do something with them, I haven't stopped recording yet.
I wanna surprise the living crap out of general right now.
You're obviously unless you have Nitro. I don't think these are split into like 4 files. So I doubt you'd be able to upload them all to Discord right now.
Yeah, I think you'd want to put it on like. It's an audio file or a video?
It is technically
Audio.
a video file. That way you can see our icons.
Oh, okay. You want to probably upload it to YouTube or something,
Yeah.
and then we can send the link.
Yeah, I'll fuse
Yeah,
one
can
video
one of you guys do that, and then send the link to me, and then or something. Whatever works best. Whatever drifts your anchor.
Oh god.
We're never gonna say whatever floats your boat.
Whatever sells your mayonnaise.
Oh no. I like
I
as
can't believe
somebody
that was
said
Nick's
that.
full name.
That was
The weirdest.
No, but I can't believe that.
Now we need to see. Now we need to have like a
Mayonnaise.
Joey and Maria thing, but like Maria's face
The
is copy
mayor's
pasted onto like
daughter.
mayonnaise.
Oh no.
We're going to go to Kroger, find the mayonnaise section, and tape pictures of Mary
Maria.
all over these mayonnaise jars.
Mari brand.
The entire mayonnaise section.
And like a huge mayonnaise.
Mari.
Like a
They're
huge
selling Maria. They're
vandalism
selling
box.
Mary's, guys. That's just a jar of mayonnaise. It's only a thing that the guys in the speedrunning server understand.
Oh no, I'm totally making a meme now where the ending image with Mari and Jowee, Mary is replaced by a jar of mayonnaise.
We don't need gamer girl water. We
Please.
just need.
Can somebody
Raposa
do that?
Girl mayonnaise.
I'll do it. I'll do it at some point once I'm done.
Yeah,
Oh my.
that was amazing.
No, I mean it absolutely was. It's fantastic that he's still
Did
here.
we
Oh, I'm
do we
buzzing.
have the name for like the dog creatures in the wiki yet? I mean, I knew like the dog creature thing, like for the early version of Raposa. Where that was that on the wiki, like the name for
Oh, the Droogles?
Yeah, that's
Droogables.
on the wiki.
Droogle. That was weird.
Was it Droogle or
Droogle.
Droodle? Because poodle.
Droog.
I think it was
Like,
Droogle.
yeah, it's
I
like
think he said
dog-
Droogle.
He says
dog
Droogle.
It's like dog.
Let's just ping him,
doodle, but,
guys.
like, an R
I
in
see.
there,
Yeah,
so
I
it doesn't
see.
seem obvious.
Yeah, do not do that.
That's probably gonna just make that part of the rules. Hey guys, can you not ping Maya?
New rule, don't ping Miah, you'll be kicked.
We don't want to lose. We don't want to
We don't
lose
want to
him.
lose him.
Slaczka.
Hey, I kind of hinted to him that in Anchors of the Drift, like, we're really great fans. I was like, hey, because he said he would do stuff like that for the fans, and I'm like, hey, maybe I'm gonna play Anchors in the Drift, and I'm gonna look in the credits very slowly, guys.
I'm going to play the credits at 0.25 speed.
There is a
Better
thing where
see, like, a
Look,
single
Harry, there I
pixel.
am, there I am.
if we believe
Those
the
2
invite,
pixels.
if we believe the invite, Maya is the 200th member of Drawn to Life for All. However, I've been counting the members based on the sidebar, and that's for a while now, and it shouldn't be any more than 183. I don't know what Discord's thinking.
Bots.
It's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
bots, I know that for sure.
People who joined and then left.
But he's the 200th member.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you look in the
Is he
members
in there
list
now?
in the user management section, he's the 200th.
He joined.
He's in there.
Oh man. Should we make,
I wonder
We
how
were
many people
expecting
are
you,
freak out.
Rennie.
we do have to post something. Does this warrant an announcement at all? Because
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe we at least post in general about it, because otherwise it's just sort of people are gonna notice. Hey, why is one of the devs here?
Hmm.
I guess
That's
we
a
can say
dev.
something like that.
Well,
but
that's
make
different,
sure it's
Maya. It could be
mentioned
anyone.
not to-
Oh, that's
You-
just
you
one of our
can-
friends. Don't worry.
Yeah. I think you can announce that they're in the server, but be sure to be like, please be respectful and do not.
You
Well, I
can
mean,
like
you can
Don't ping him 300 times each day.
you can
I'd say
disable their
like
ability to be
just
pinged.
get rid
so
of the get rid of
Oh,
the
that's
dev
good.
rule on him, and then like just don't even bring it up because I didn't even realize. Oh, Miah meant Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So like, if you, maybe just like keeping it like a tiny secret. I mean, that might work too, but.
Nah, eventually one
Nah.
person's gonna figure it out.
People would
Because
figure
it's
it
on
out
his Wikipedia.
and say he doesn't use-
It's on his
People
Wikipedia
with
that his nickname
big brain
is.
IQs.
I mean, the name Maya.
You know what? I should have asked him. I should have asked him how he pronounces his last name.
I think there is
I
a
wanted
Hackers
to
in the Drift
ask
video
that
where he does say
too.
his name out loud. Where he says, "Hi,
Slaczka?
I'm Jeremiah Slaczka."
Is it like Slaczka? Because it's probably like Polish or like Slavic or something.
It sounds Slavic at least.
Well, his nickname is Maya. It does say it on his Wikipedia.
Yeah, and it's in Drawn to Life 1 anyways because of the Observatory Easter egg.
Mhm. I just hope we're an Easter egg in Inkers of the Drift.
Is there like I never got an answer to this. Is there like what? How do you access the developer grove?
You pay,
I think to beat the game.
It was 10,000 or was it
It's a lot of
It
money.
was 10.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
10,000
10,000
coins
gold.
to the,
10,000
I
gold.
remember. Oh my god.
Well,
I remember playing as a kid. I was like, oh, these are such cool rewards from the well. I want to give all my money so I could get more and more. I thought there was like infinite outcomes, but no. Like at one point, what's this dumb place that I found? Who are these people? I remember like remembering this as a kid. This is so dumb. I want
These jokes are terrible.
money. I want cool stuff.
I was
Who are these people?
I was really confused by
That's really
why they
good.
didn't.
Like I was so confused. Like what are these?
I saw the developers go from 1, and I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm gonna try maxing out all of my freaking color and crap in Drawn to Life 2, and I'm like,
Totally.
I maxed out my gold, and I'm like 20,000 color drops away from maxing out my art.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my
I've
goodness, how
100%
do you
the
even
game
grind something like
so
that?
much. I don't want to delete my save file.
Where's
Did
the
you,
ideal
like,
color grinding
well-
spot?
Yeah, tell us.
Technically, I don't
Tell
know.
Wherever you
That's
have the
5
most
years.
fun.
Don't
Which is the
forget
snowboarding
second
part.
BakiBeard Coin and Lava Reservoir. Or is it Lava Reservoir? What's the level with 2 BakiBeard Coins?
It just got quiet.
Yeah, no,
Actually, like it.
Sorry,
I
I'm
feel
like cutting out.
something
or
together. Like, hey, this got done interviewing a dude named Jeremiah. Why did this dude named Maya just join the server?
something.
Who is this guy?
I got it.
Back to meditating on the deep secrets of Drawn to Life.
if y'all want like
Well,
a list,
now we
like,
know that
of,
it is
like, a very,
actually
very
God.
messy
I'm
list
not
of,
going
like,
to sleep
important
tonight.
life notes.
No, it's funny though, because Wilfre has cut dialogue saying he never meant it for it to be this way, but the shadow corrupted him to thinking that way. So, is the shadow Satan or is Wilfre Satan?
Yeah,
Wilfre
that is
saying-
weird.
No,
Is the
Wilfre
shadow
saying-
sin?
Also
Is that
from-
the implication?
I feel like the shadow is definitely like Wilfre, and then like, or no, so the shadow is Satan, and then Wilfre is like who the shadow is using as like a way to get around. Like
No,
the
because
creator
originally Satan was an angel, but got cocky.
Yeah, do you think the
It's his ego.
can't- I was
Yeah,
gonna say like, oh,
it's a bit weird though that the second game tries to paint him as a somewhat empathetic villain when he's Satan.
I mean,
But I like it how Jeremiah was just like immediately like, oh yeah, that is God.
Yeah, no hesitation.
yeah,
got a lot of
let me
answers.
debunk anything.
you play as God and Jesus.
No, my favorite thing is how the Wii game just isn't canon.
The what is the Wii version?
Yeah, it's good.
What's the Wii version even like about? I've never seen anything about it.
It's between 1 and 2. It's about Mary's got
Between them, I thought it was I thought it was an alternate version of 2.
I've always interpreted it as between 1 and 2. Mary's got
because Wilfre is defeated in the Wii version, and it's somebody trying to bring him back.
Yeah, it's what I took was Cersei tried to bring him back because Cersei was in love with Wilfre, but that fell apart, and then Wilfre resurrected himself later through Heather. I always figured it was just a family time resurrecting Wilfre and not.
Whatever that pendant was and that staff, where did those come from?
Don't know.
I
mean,
feel like
the
the
stuff
staff
came
was like
across
a
the sea.
paintbrush.
Weird.
Maybe that's an Anchors of the Drift.
Whoa.
All of your answers. in
Watch
the-
it literally just be Anchors of the Drift literally just be drawn to life.
3.
I mean, it anchors in the drift.
Wait.
Like, what if the pendant and this like paintbrush staff, or like whatever it is? I feel like it's a paintbrush, but like,
Yeah, I think so.
because like when it's like flashing and stuff, the tip moves around a lot. Like what if those are like artifacts from throughout time? Because anchors in the drift is like moving through time and space, right? Because of these things called anchors or whatever.
They would be able to combine that to the real world aspect, and then like Maxwell's notebook could be another artifact.
Oh,
that'd be cool. And the lily globe.
I think someone in Draw to Life for All posted a couple of days ago. There was a Scribblenauts Unmasked comic where Doppelganger gets adopted in the family, and akin to
That was so sweet.
Maxwell's notebook, he gets given a sketchbook, which raises immediate questions about the Book of Life.
I didn't think about that. Ooh. Okay,
Yes,
so
but we know
I
that
think the biggest
Doppelganger is
reveal-
not God.
I think the biggest reveal was
Jesus.
that Mike's
Doppelganger
parents
is God.
are maybe not dead.
I think
Jesus?
I think
I took that
No, I think I know what the hero's name is actually, guys. It's Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to draw
Here's-
Jesus Christ now.
Here's the thing, is that he said Creator was literally God, he said Wilfre was literally Satan, but is the hero literally Jesus, or is he representation? Because
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, he said
he
that.
also said some of the things about
He
Mary
said
and
that.
Jowee, though, but Mary and Jowee obviously aren't literally Mary and Joseph, so they're representations of them. So where does that leave?
Yeah, but the manger is the creation hall.
Because, I mean, like, literally Jesus means, like, it's implied that Jesus just gets put inside Mike's head. Or,
Jesus
Yep.
was like an avatar of God, basically, in some ways. So
Mhm.
like,
you're right.
it's how a
Not
greater
quite.
being can interact
Transform,
with the
transform,
physical
right.
world directly. That's how I was seeing, like, the shadows were controlling Wilfre. Wilfre was Satan's avatar fighting against God's avatar, basically your
The
hero.
Antichrist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, wait, they could do something for Drawn to Life 3 that it's like Antichrist.
Wow.
Oh no.
Would they go
don't
down
know
that
about
path?
Ending the dream.
I don't think you
or
want to make it
keeping-
explicitly about Jesus.
I mean,
Literally just have an
it's weird that
Antichrist.
Wilfre has such self-preservation instincts when he's being basically possessed. Like that.
Damn.
Because, I mean, like,
We should have asked him what it meant, like, at the very end of the Drawn to Life next chapter when Wilfre, like, beats him. What would that represent?
I mean, he just comes back to life. It's just Wilfre getting
Yeah,
to
like
realize
everyone
life.
prays and gives the power.
The
The
true
power of Christ
was
compels
the
you.
friend-
The power of mayonnaise compels you.
Mayonnaise.
the power of friendship.
Mayonnaise is God.
Throughout the mayonnaise is God.
Can we get a mayonnaise emoji on the episode?
Mayonnaise, yes, we need a mayonnaise. Marinade.
Why is there a mayonnaise here? Funny story, you may say.
Why isn't it?
Yeah.
It was marinade.
I need to put mayonnaise on
Mayonnaise.
the Raposa Village map.
Marinade.
Oh. I mean, I still love Drawn to Life, but, like, I thought it had no religion in it.
Well, I mean, the Book of Life is literally a thing in the Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
kind of pieced some stuff together, but I didn't think it was. Hey, this is Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was. I thought it was just
Found our emoji.
Thank you, Art.
Hang on, I think I
welcome.
can make a better one.
Oh, do it.
You're gonna put like you could put like Mary written on the text there, the logo.
Oh my
Like-
god.
Yeah, just have her face on it.
yeah. It's a
I don't think
Maposa.
any of us have the ability to add emotes or anything.
It's a Maposa, guys.
Post.
If you have an emoji, I can add it.
Oh, okay.
Posa.
The
I
only
might-
like thing I
because-
have is like
I don't know if any of you guys know about Spriter's Resource,
Yes,
that
I've-
website.
I use it extensively.
I uploaded
Oh,
stuff to that.
Well, we can use some of those for emotes.
I mean, I have most of these sprites, like, because I ripped them from the game, so the backgrounds are already transparent. So I can just give you some of the Mary sprites right now if you want.
Oh.
Hey, I wonder if Maya is gonna create a headcanon Raposa.
A what?
A headcanon
Should
Raposa.
have asked about those Raposa which didn't make it in the game, but were in the artifact cell.
Okay.
Yeah, here's one. And if you look at the file name, if you open the link, you'll see it literally does say Mayonnaise.
Man.
Oh.
Mayana?
Oh, let me
That's
try to find an idle one. Sorry, it's
Amy.
off the side.
Amy.
Oh boy, here we go.
I gotta replay
You know,
Drawn to
like-
Life 1 now, because I didn't have, like,
I wanna
reading
Dude,
ability
what is
back
wrong
then.
with Mary?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
same. I'm trying to like buy it, but it's like $30.
No way.
I used to have the collection, but I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, Drawn to Life.
I had never played Lost Quest.
because they stopped producing it. I think so. It's like priced.
It's like $3 on Steam.
What?
I looked it up.
Drawn to Life 1.
No, Lost Quest.
Oh, okay. I might.
I
play
need to
Lost
try to
Quest on
replay it.
Switch.
You might need like a gamepad. It's like really hard to play with keyboard and mouse.
Oh, that might be why it has, like, mixed reviews.
I always have the
That is a big boy.
big golden Baki from the village where you turn giant in Drawn to Life 1. That was such a cool, iconic moment.
I forgot that was even
That
a
one
thing,
was, like-
but I want to do
Samuel
that now.
was like my favorite character, and he's like, "Boy, I can make you massive," and I'm like, "Okay." And like for the next like day and a half, I'm just replaying the levels just to stomp around and stuff. It was so fun as a kid.
God, I
wanna
need to
get
play
back
the
to that.
original.
Oh my god, I need to get back to the original.
Oh, I need to play the original.
No, I mean, I found my current the next chapter copy because I lost my initial one. I found it at GameStop without the case for $3.
Whoa, really?
I know.
Yeah,
But I want the case. I want the
Yeah.
case.
I understand. I might buy a case too at some point, or just get the collection.
Yeah.
I mean, like the only thing that stopped me from like just buying the collection, I would have bought the collection already if it wasn't because of TNC's ending. Because I'm much.
Yeah. Also, I've been told that the collection's very buggy.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's for speedrunning, isn't it?
Well,
No,
There's
you wouldn't
good and
speedrun on the
bad
I know,
collection.
I know.
It's slower. It's cool how he
Well-
likes us speedrunning.
I just downloaded the ROM for Drawn to Life 1.
Nice.
Gonna play that.
I will say, having played through the game on emulator to get to record, to get sprites, record sounds, and I mean, like before I ripped them from the files, I ripped them from screenshots, and so I did play through the entire game, and then I played through the game again on the DS again, and it's way more fun on a DS. Most games are more.
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to get a DS cart.
With a
I want to get a cart of it.
with a controller anyway. But
Yeah, I wanna
Drawn
get a
Life
cart.
is something just not even like the touchscreen. It just feels nice to have the D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
It just you feel so much more fluid in your control.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
There's there's this thing where,
$6?
oh, and I think that's a used version, but I remember like
I don't care. I'm getting this
what's
thing.
the thing?
Oh crap!
I'm going to buy
Kane,
this.
Kane,
Yes.
I haven't stopped recording because we're having an interesting conversation. I may have recorded the dashboard channel. I may need to cut that.
That's fine. I mean, there's not a whole lot in there.
All right, so I can leave it in.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay.
We're good.
Thank you.
There was like, speaking of like, oh, 3DS, or just a DS. I have a 2DS, so you got the like swivelly analog stick on it. And
I have a
on, like-
2DS, and
Yeah, I got a 2DS.
It's-
It's pretty nice.
the 2DS, I like it. I like the 2DS.
I was like,
It
oh, and
looks comfy.
so I found this thing where it's like, in the next chapter, before like level 2 of Watersong, there's a dude covering like 2 of the levels by like being in the way, or like he's covering level 3 where you need to get the gong, and like you have to normally talk to like whoever the guy, like the official. He's like, oh, you can't use the canals because we don't have a gong. But instead of having to talk to him, if you just like use the swivelly kind of controller on the 2DS, you can just squeeze past the guy covering level 3 and then skip that dialogue entirely. Is that like, is that just for the like the analog stick, or is it also on regular DS?
For what?
The little skip, the dialogue skip. I don't know if that's any use for speedrunning, but
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off now. I got some things to take care of, but
Alright.
it was nice
Bye,
being
Kane.
here.
hey, it was nice.
See ya.
talking, yeah.
Later.
I'm gonna hop off too. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That was still crazy.
It was.
But yeah, I might go through and like think of emotes for this server.
It is 1
'Cause
o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to buy a cart of Drawn to Life
Oh,
DS.
Hey, I won't judge.
these games should be on Steam. Like, I realize the mouse problem, but still.
Modding.
This is a good remake.
That would allow modding a lot easier. That'd be
Damn
so
it.
cool.
I mean,
I feel like that would be.
we did get text editing working over on the Drawn to Life for All. Inconsistently, like, Bluebird managed to get it working like, on his first go. He hasn't had any problems doing it, because the rest of us can't figure out what he's doing differently. The first ever text edit was, Zilton edited the intro and changed it to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's amazing.
I think I have an image of it.
Perfection.
Let me see.
Wait, so like after you answer like the questions, it just plays.
It was the first game.
Oh, man.
Dude, the original one is $33, and the Wii version is only $10.
Good.
Honestly, the Wii
Whoa,
one's
whoa,
probably
whoa,
not
whoa,
worth
whoa,
your
whoa!
time.
$3? Are you kidding me?
If you
Dude.
get it used, you can get it for like $5 or $3. But if you buy it like fresh, they'll have to like, I guess, make a new copy or something. And yeah, it'll be like around 30 because they're not like massively produced anymore. Because the regular DS is dying, and the 3DS and 2DSs are kind of being, pushed out now.
Yeah.
I literally don't want this.
Oh my god, this is how the story of how our life got. Oh my god.
Forget the artifice, so I'm getting a Drawn to Life cart.
Oh, I should get the Artifice. I've been thinking about that for a long time now. That book looks really good.
Nice. I'm getting it January, at the end of the year. At the end of the month.
Anyway, I'm gonna get to uploading this and other classic relatable American pastimes like playing Chicken Invaders 3.
Apparently, according to somebody on the DTL, the big server, they're like, oh, I saw Drew was the canon name on the wiki. Time to cull that information.
I mean, I think it was the THQ website that said that. There was another fan name for a long time called Sparky that people thought was official, but it turns out no, that materialized out of nowhere like Shadow Showdown.
Yeah,
Oh,
I heard...
one question I was gonna ask, but I forgot. It's either the first or second level in the next chapter, that statue of the hero,
Mm-hmm.
if you press the button on it or whatever, it'll say something about secrets. Is there anything to that?
It's just supposed
normally
to tell you
talking
certain
about-
levels.
Oh my god, the whole
So,
server is going.
It doesn't it's just telling you, it's just informing you, oh, you should be exploring like a bunch of parts of the levels because you can find so many things.
Okay.
And
I
also
always
the
thought
best
if I came back after finding everything,
Oh no. It's
yeah,
hey,
and that
these-
upset me a lot.
These levels are cool. We got big stuff around here. There's like places that are alternate routes just for coins and stuff.
Anyway, I am gonna go now. See you guys. Hopefully we can see you guys.
See ya.
See ya.